Dr. Nerenberg's mind-body workout system.
Welcome, 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 my beautiful brothers and sisters and my beautiful wife, Maheen. I'm honored, truly honored and delighted to be here with you. The opportunity to reach deep within myself and share with you the knowledge in so many areas. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. To those of you in the room, those who are watching on DVD, and those listening on CD, today's topic is how to stay calm and not be angry. Respectfully real intention. One of the keys to staying calm, one of the big keys to staying calm and not getting aggravated when somebody's saying something to you, particularly with the calmness in interpersonal relationship, is through forgiveness. If you forgive the person, then you're not walking around agitating yourself about wanting revenge and the anger, or what you should have said, what you should have did, what you're planning to do, because you forgive the person. That forgiveness is not only good for the other person, it's very healing for ourselves. It helps us to stay calm and not to get angry. Now, in terms of being calm and not getting angry, there are two parts to it. One is to intend no harm, to cause no harm. The second part is the urge to goodness. So the aspect of causing no harm is so important to staying calm, finding peace and harmony in ourselves and not getting angry, to cause no harm, to not cause harm to ourselves, as well as not causing harm to others. Because when we get angry, we become more at risk even for cardiovascular events. The anger interferes with digestion, it interferes with sleep. It's a fact now that anger is highly correlated with cardiovascular events such as strokes and heart attacks. So causing no harm is an important part of staying calm and not getting angry. You don't want to damage ourselves. So it has to be a commitment. I refuse to damage myself. I don't want to hurt myself. I don't want to walk around with resentment and not being able to eat or think or becoming obsessed. What happens when we become that angry and agitated or resentful? We become obsessed with the thought. We walk around with a dark cloud over the eyes. And so that people may even talk to us. We don't hear them. You're playing a sport. The ball is being pitched. You can't quite see it because you're having this resentful thought. You're in a boxing match. Passing thought goes, if it goes into your mind, you hesitate for a second, you get hit. Whatever it is, it distracts you. Could cause an accident. You're on a freeway, you need quick reaction time, but because you're obsessed with a particular thought, you don't even see what's happening, or you notice, gee, I almost missed my exit. You swirl, and you can cause a collision. More at risk for accidents when we're angry because of the obsessive quality that happens walking around resentful. So we don't want to be damaging ourselves, to cause no harm to self, to cause no harm to others, not causing harm to the others. When you cause harm to another person, it's very likely that that person is going to have a resentment and then will eventually harm you. Could very likely happen. So you harm another person, you could even feel some guilt or remorse, which is also damaging yourself. So ultimately, it's to cause no harm to ourselves, because we harm another, we're harming ourselves. We either harm ourselves directly or indirectly. So that's the aspect of causing no harm. The other part is an urge to goodness. The urge to goodness is instinctual. Within every human being, there's an urge to do good. That's in all of us. It's the same instinct that drives us to God, to a supreme being, to our Creator. The urge to goodness. See it in children. See a lot of goodness, sweetness, innocence. They want to be helpful, want to do good. It's natural. It's inborn. It's instinctive. So the urge to goodness is so important. Now, the urge to goodness is something that you want to keep developing. These, of course, the power thoughts are the way to keep developing both aspects of this. The power thought is a thought you repeat at a certain frequency. I recommend in Dr. Nerenberg's mind-body workout system every 5 minutes the first day and twice an hour thereafter. Each point could be, I wish to do good. I will do good, and I'm grateful. I will do good, and I'm grateful. So I will do good, and I'm grateful will facilitate the urge to goodness by keep repeating that. I will do good, and I'm grateful. So we close our eyes and focus, a focuser. I will do good, and I'm grateful. We do exercise, get proprioceptive involvement. I will do good, and I'm grateful. I will do good, I'm grateful. This power thought to urge towards goodness. I will do good, and I'm grateful. We can use an amplify. I will do good, and I'm so grateful. If you amplify, I will do good. I will do much good, and I'm so grateful. We can use a time shift. I will do good now, and I'm so grateful. Now is a time shift. It's right now I'm going to do that good. So the power thought, which will affect our perceptions and ultimately our behaviors. That power thought keeps us in a state of remembrance. Or the power thought could be, I forgive you. I forgive you. So I'll do that, closing my eyes. I forgive you. I'll put an amplifier. I forgive you totally. Moving my shoulders, reversing that movement, getting proprioceptive involvement. All help me internalize that thought. I completely forgive you. I completely forgive you. What a power. What a power that the great spiritual teachers throughout time have given us. That power of forgiveness was for our own health, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And certainly for those who have a belief in a God or a supreme being, asking God for that help and thanking Him for the guidance. To stay in a state of gratitude all day long helps keep us calm. It's hard to get really angry when you're grateful. You're grateful all day long, especially when you find that even the bad things that happen to us lead to good. The law of tribulation. I will gain power from this tribulation. You've done this to me, but I will gain power from this tribulation, and I'm grateful. I will gain great power from this tribulation. I'm so grateful. The law of tribulation. Therefore, we're not just lamenting and whining and complaining when bad things happen to us, because we know we're going to gain power intellectually, spiritually, and physically. Certainly I did when I had prostate cancer. When I was diagnosed with it, I said, I will gain great power spiritually, emotionally, and physically from this prostate cancer. Thank you. Thank you. I'll gain great power from this prostate cancer, intellectually, spiritually, and physically. Thank you, Lord. Became cured of that cancer a year and a half ago, became the strongest man in the world for my age and weight, bench pressed more than powerlifting history for a drug-free man. So I gained power from it, and I keep seeing that gaining of power from tribulation. This is a fact. All the great spiritual teachers told us that. All things work for good for those who love the Lord. Calamity is my providence. Outwardly it is fire and vengeance. Inwardly it is light and mercy. All the great teachers brought us this. We've just put it into a law of tribulation to gain power. And of course, we always gain power and upliftment through the law of upliftment, through love. And perceptions of beauty always raise us up. That's the other law. Two laws under the law of constructive intention, the law of tribulation and the law of upliftment. So the constructive intention is really so important. Constructive intention is really the larger fabric under which causing no harm and the urge to goodness go under, because it's constructive intention. How to stay calm and not be angry? Respectfully, real intention. So the intention has to be good. We're not responsible for the bad that comes out of it. Evil can come out of it. You do well, your intention is good, and something bad happens. Well, that wasn't your intention. You intended good. We're not responsible even for the thoughts we have. No. We're responsible for the thoughts we choose to have. Nobody chose to walk around angry. Oh, if I could design how I am, I'd walk around resentful all the time. Yes, I would. Who would say that? Nobody. No one would choose that. So we're not responsible for the fact that we have all these negative thoughts and resentments. We're responsible for the thoughts we choose to have. You could choose the thought, I forgive you completely. I forgive you completely. That is what you're accountable for. You've chosen that thought. I want to do good. You've chosen that thought. That makes you a good person, even if you get negative thoughts at times. Of course, these power thoughts help prevent the negative thoughts from arising and give us a way, when a negative thought does arise, to overpower it. And even if we can't totally overpower some negative thoughts, these constructive power thoughts help balance them. So not only having negative thoughts, we're also having some constructive thoughts with it. And we have the full technology of Dr. Nerenberg's mind-body workout system to intensify and amplify the positive thought and the internalization of that thought. Now, in terms of forgiveness, I'm going to read from a book called Anger Management, A Spiritual Perspective. And this home prayer goes more deeply into forgiveness and the full power of it, and could even be a source of power thoughts you may want to draw from it. How many times have I gone so far away that I could not find myself? Or was it that I found only a stranger who knew of love, couldn't remember it right then? Or you can have the other way, who knew not of love at that moment, but did remember it. So many times we love somebody, we get upset. At that moment, might not remember we have the love. But see, I know I loved them. I told the person I loved them. I'm so upset right now. Well, the remembrance of that love is one way to calm ourselves and to not get angry. Otherwise, we're become a stranger to ourselves. You see that darkness come over the eyes. The person becomes a stranger to themselves. Why, I say to him, have you appeared in my place? Here it is so dark and cold. We remember love, but cannot touch its light right now. So remember, I love this person. Gee, I can't stand that person right now. Well, that's a terrible thing. Because that moment you're cut off from the person you love might be the person you love most. You're cut off. I will love, but can't touch its light right now. Let me wait in the shadows for our Lord to appear so that his love may save us. So certainly it's a time to turn to spiritual power and ask the Spirit. And whatever way people do that, whether it's Christian, Jewish, Baha'i, Muslim, Buddhist, doesn't matter. Whatever way a person contacts that spiritual nature, whether it's nature, whatever it is, to contact that for help. But we are not ready, for we are covered in the depth of ourselves. Sometimes we're so angry we don't even want to get positive. Once it gets to a certain point, the person doesn't want to get positive. I want to hold on to it because there's an attraction to it. That's where the power thought comes in. So thankful I'm more attracted to constructive thought. I'm more attracted to constructive thought than I am destructive thought. I'm so thankful that my constructive thought has dominion over my destructive thought. I'm so thankful because that's the power thought that takes us out of that attraction. We just want to go in and get more and more negative and destructive. That's a very important power thought. The whole goal of Dr. Nerenberg's mind-body workout system is to empower the constructive thought, to have dominion over the destructive thought, words, and feelings and actions so that we might transcend the suffering of this life and attain paradise on earth. Here we do not see another, but only the offenses done to us. So what happens? That person's definition of who they are, they're only defined by one thing. You did this to me. You have no other life but that. Your whole existence becomes this. You did this to me. It's not like you're a beautiful human being, wife and kids, or husband and kids, and you've done so much good for you. The only thing about you is you did this to me. You said this to me. And so there's a tremendous loss of perspective. And so an important power thought is, I will keep perspective and not overreact. 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 I'll keep perspective now and not overreact, ever. We're a victim of overreact. Most people get more upset that the car doesn't start than all the starving children in the world. We're upset over that event. That's how loss of perspective we have. And that's why we all desperately need that power thought. I'll keep perspective and not overreact. We know compassion is the only key to open the dungeon of ourselves. And when I talk about the dungeon of ourselves, I'm talking about those dark caves that we go into that's just filled with resentment and anger, hatred, where we want to just do damage and say negative things. But we cling to the memory of the wrongs done to us. I did this, you did that, you did this, you did that, which is death. And each count seals the coffin ever tighter so that each one we remember and dwell on. It's like putting yourselves in a coffin, putting nails in that coffin. So that's why we want to go to forgiveness. Otherwise, we put ourselves in our graves. There is a power, a miracle, which could deliver us. That's the good news. I just gave you the bad news, what we tend to do, something that I've always done in the past, which I practically never do now. But even as recently as a few months ago, I have. Make sure this progress would fall down, get back up. There is a power, a miracle, which could deliver us. It is holy, and it can only be found in the dance of ancient awakening. Oh Lord, let me forget myself and be consumed in you. So by turning to the Supreme Being, asking, saying, Lord God, please Fill my heart with love and forgiveness. I put myself in your hands. Let me do your will and forgive this person for what he's done or she's done. And I wish him or her a long, healthy, prosperous life. There's another secret to staying calm. Being a well-wisher of humanity. I wish you well, my brother. I wish you well, my sister. I wish you a long, healthy, prosperous life. And God bless you. By wishing that person well, you freed yourself of an early death, of being a miserable human being. You wish that person well. So a key secret to how to stay calm and not be angry, a respectfully real intention, is to be a well-wisher of humankind. Now, what do we mean by respectfully real intention? Well, respectfully real communication is a communication that involves using words to create a bridge, a connection, as opposed to a wall or a barrier. So sometimes it comes down to we got to talk to somebody. Hey, this thing's bothering me. I've prayed about it, I've used power thoughts, but it's bothering me. I need to talk to you, my friend. I tell you, if you want to just be real and honest, you would go, hey, good son of a gun, I can't stand you, I don't want to see you again. Well, that's being honest, it's being real, it's letting it all hang out, but puts a wall, a barrier, it's destructive. Conversely, if you say, listen, my brother, I do love you, I respect you, but when you said what you said, I felt humiliated, and if you could find it in your heart to apologize for it, I'd be so grateful to you. Well, that's respectfully real communication. You created a connection, a bridge. Through my tears, I beg forgiveness for having been consumed in myself. Let my tears of compassion raise me to the timeless freedom, escaping the prison of blaming others. So as we go through the blaming that is one of the greatest sources of anger, is blaming. One of the antidotes for that, one of the cures is, I joyfully take full responsibility for how I co-created this problem. I joyfully take full responsibility for how I co-created this problem. I joyfully and happily take full responsibility for how I co-created this problem. I happily take full responsibility for how I co-created this problem. Very powerful power thought. It's one of the ways out of the blaming. Now, we're living in a real world, a physical world, a practical world. At times we have to protect ourselves. We have to be cautious. We have to deal with wisdom with others. So we need to negate or neutralize the harm being done. Not to punish, but to neutralize the harm. And then go on in harmony with love, forgiveness, and connection. But neutralize the harm. To take whatever minimum force it requires, whether it's mental force, emotional, physical, whatever it is, whatever minimum force it requires to just neutralize the harm. Because we're not doormats. That's not what's being advocated here. Of rights. It's not even good for the other person to abuse us or violate us. Bad for them as well as bad for us. So for our sake, for their sake, we can't let it go on. Bring it to a halt and then move forward in a constructive way. All my divine tears of freedom. Wash away the wrongs of all I see that is done against me. So we want a sin-covering eye. We don't even want to remember the wrongs done to us. Every time I remember it, it's upsetting. So I don't even want to remember it. Now here's the key one. I forgive now and forever all who speak or do against me. So saying I forgive not what people have done to me in the past, the present, but in the future. Because in the future, someone's going to do somebody you know, you love, a stranger, they're going to offend you. I forgive them. That's the commitment. Now, momentarily, you might get upset, might get angry, might slip, but you come back to it fast. I forgive you. We're human. We might slip a little bit, get back. Oh, I forgive you. Within this eternal pledge is my protection against myself. Most of us know that our worst enemy is ourselves. Within this eternal pledge is my protection against myself. Forgiveness is how I protect me from myself. Isn't this what all the great spiritual teachers came and told us through forgiveness? It's not just the other person. It's a kindness to ourselves. For it's my own perceptions of the wrongdoings done to me that separate me from myself. I may have misunderstood what was said or done. I may not even have all the facts. That person may be doing really well given what they really would like to say and do. So they might be giants They really like to maybe become really violent, but instead they just said a little something nasty. That might be great for that person. Meantime, you think, oh, this person just did such a horrible thing. And that perception of the wrongdoing, and there are times wrongdoings, we don't want to negate that, and that has to be neutralized. But a lot of times it's the perception of the wrongdoings that separate me from myself. I pray that my tears of compassion wash away all memory of injustices against me. So as we have that weeping of compassion, and it's a beautiful tear. It's a beautiful tear. Wash away a sense of that injustice. I ask to only see the suffering which led to their destructive actions. That person did it because they were hurting. Let me somehow help that person. So when all the spiritual teachers say turn the other cheek or help heal the person who offends you, to love your enemy, universal. That's what it's about. I ask to only see the suffering which led to their destructive actions and thus try to, by helping heal them, we heal ourselves. Please allow me the privilege to see the pain which causes others to strike. Because very often when you see the strike, you go, wow. Then to see the pain, you go, wow, gee, you're hurt. Even though I will take practical actions to protect myself, I will comfort the oppressed who aspire to oppress me, as a loving mother caresses her weeping child. This is the way out of our own resentment. Will we do it perfectly in our lifetime? Well, we can aspire to it. We can pray for it. We can use Dr. Nerenberg's mind-body workout system to do it. We can look at examples of people who lived that life and try to learn from them, to be inspired by them. I carve this resolution in the tablet of my heart with my every breath, a reminder of this covenant. So we want to be able to remember it all day, every day. And the only way to do that is only one way. You got to keep reminding yourself. You can't just hear it being said now or in a religious meeting or something you read. It's got to be reminded all day, every day, or I guarantee you will forget it, as I would. Got to keep reminding yourself. I forgive you. Wish you well. Take responsibility for co-creating this problem. You got to keep these going. You can handle about 3 or 4 at a time. And then once in a while you rotate around. Oh, Spirit of Truth, all my days are yours to command. So we're committing ourselves to the truth. And the truth is the person is not defined by that wrongdoing. Much more to them than that wrongdoing. I'll no longer hide behind the veil of separateness and victimization. Because when we feel offended, we feel very separate. We feel like we're a victim. That's a veil that separates us. Because for within that dark perimeter lie the evil of myself and the reason I become lost. So as I say, okay, this is what you've done to me. This is what defines you. You're only this bad person who did this. That's all you are. Well, then I'm going to have a lot of nasty thoughts about you. And I'm going to do something to you, or I'm going to want to do something to you. So there's going to be some words that are not going to be good coming out towards you or to say to somebody else. So that's where the evil comes from, is from focusing on that. And we become lost. Let me say to all I meet, please allow me the privilege of serving you. For we are a servant of one another. This is the highest station, to serve one another, to comfort one another during our brief sojourn on this earth, which if you live 120 years, it's over like that. Twinkling of an eye, I became 67. Twinkling of an eye, we're just here for a little while, serve one another, to do what good we can, and leave. Allow my love to comfort you and bring you peace. You need never fear me, for I do not judge you, nor do I take offense. So we don't want to be judgmental, because we're really not in a position to judge another. We don't know the context in which they were raised. For example, if we saw a drunk wallowing in his own vomit and urine, begging for money, he could be the greatest holy man on the earth. And I'll tell you why. What if he was beaten and tortured every day of his youth growing up, and he stays inebriated just so he doesn't go out killing people? Just not hurting people is a great accomplishment for him. The greatest accomplishment of any person on the earth. Well, you can't judge him. We say, this is a great man once you know the context. For I do not judge you, nor do I take offense. You have brought me yourself, and for that I am grateful. I trust you struggle as I do to manifest the goodness enshrined within your being. People want to do good. They want to do right. They do. The conflict comes that people want to survive. So I got to survive. I got to take care of me and mine. So I may have to do this to you, but sometimes there's a conflict there. This wanting to survive emotionally, intellectually, physically, and doing good. Sometimes there's a conflict. But that being said, people want to do good. It's a natural urge. I'm talking about a normal human being. A genetically normal human being wants to do good. I believe in you and in your goodness and in your greatness. There's a greatness in each human being. Believe in that. I ask this in the name of our Lord. So this was something I wrote for myself when I was going through some tremendous issues and helped me tremendously. Certainly trust in God. When we say, well, I'm going through this, but I trust God to take care of this. Turn myself in your hands. I leave that person in your hands. Let's take a look. I'm going to read a few other aspects here and then comment. Why does the jump flourish with the child only? Why does the skip vanish over time? Does silliness exit with happiness? The greatest dream there can ever be is held in the smile of the trusting child. So in that innocence, child doesn't even remember. You can hurt a child one day and 5 minutes later, they don't remember it. They're ready to stop playing again. There's no walking around, you did this to me, you did that to me. No, that's something that develops later on. That childlike quality, the greatest dream that can ever be is held in the smile of the trusting child. True laughter and playfulness is the water of life, filled with goodness, rising from the fountain of trust. So as we are in being playful and laughter, true laughter coming from within ourselves, and have that where we can laugh about life, laugh at ourselves. This is the greatest thing. Then a person does something, you get over it. It might bother you a lot, but you'll get over it more quickly if you're able to just laugh about it. Desire to cause no harm and seek to do good. But first the thought must be felt to look upon the universe of others with compassion, understanding of a human being struggling to do good as we do. To trust a thief can cause harm. Thief can get away with it, hurt us, hurt others. And so can mistrust of an honest man. So you look at a mistrust of somebody that's honest, that can cause damage too. The middle way is best. Give the benefit of the doubt until shown otherwise. So the philosophy of giving the benefit of the doubt, that'll get you past a large percentage of resentments and angers. If you did this, give you the benefit of the doubt that your intention was good. I don't know, I'll never know, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. If you seek to do good, then look through the eye of compassion. You're responsible for your intention to do good, not for any evil that may come from it. Sometimes a person tries to do good and something happens that's not so good, but we're responsible for the intention. A deep smile is the sign of having perspective. A true laugh means the anger is gone. So when someone's angry, and you see them smile or they're laughing, okay, we're okay, we're together now. And very often people have some issue go on, a problem. Maybe sometime later they laugh about it. That's a great sign, a great camaraderie, a great connection. Always be ready to forgive, and thus you will not get angry. Be realistic and practical. You can be cautious and still have a good time. So certainly caution is advocated. Maintaining or insisting on certain boundaries is important. Think good, be good, do good. Ride the thirst for goodness. There is that thirst. Ride it, feel it. As it said in an ancient Persian proverb, make no search for water, but find thirst. And water from the very ground will burst. The thirst itself will just draw it to you. The thirst itself is a prayer. A blade of grass that hasn't been watered, that thirst of the grass is a prayer for water. We don't need to have words to have a prayer. The thirst for goodness is a prayer to do good. Encourage that thirst. Anger is loss of perspective. Sit on a mountaintop and be at peace. So we want to live as if we're on the mountaintop watching life go by. Even if we're caught in the midst of it all, we want to try to live as if we're on the mountaintop and watching. To be in this life and transcendent to this life is the way to harmony and peace and to calmness. At dawn, the lake is still. Winds stir the trees and a leaf falls. A ripple wave flows across the water. No one is at peace all the time. Nobody's always at peace, so we have to accept sometimes we'll be disturbed, that ripple that goes through us, the leaf that came across. It's normal. Once a person realizes, well, I'm disturbed right now, but that's okay, I'll be okay. This will pass, and I'm going to gain power from it. Good's going to come from it. Very important. Most of the things that bother us are like a feather blown from the lips of a harmless wizard. And we run from that feather as if it could harm us. We just have to learn to go blow it back into the wizard's hair. It can't harm us. There's nothing to fear. We don't have to be running from ourselves, especially if we're entrenched and embedded and committed to doing good. We don't have to fear ourselves. You must refuse to let others and circumstances to control your anger. Only thus are you free. Good power thought is, I refuse to let you control my anger. I absolutely refuse to let you control my anger. I absolutely refuse to let you control my anger. So the power thought is, I refuse to let you control my anger. I absolutely refuse to let you control my anger as an amplifier. So you do your exercise, close your eyes and focus on it. I absolutely refuse to let you control my anger. Look what happens in road rage, angry driving. Somebody that you meet for 10 seconds, you get a blurry vision of them, cuts you off and you go screaming. You don't even know the person. It's like putting a sign on top of your car. I don't care what race, nationality, or religion you are, whether you're 17 or 77. I don't let any one of you make me to a raving lunatic. Who wants to give that control to these other people? I refuse to let you control my anger. I just use that as a paradigm. What happens in our everyday life? You want to keep that control. You don't want to surrender that control over your anger. That's a very helpful power thought. I refuse to let you control my anger. Everyone is vulnerable. All have a weak spot. Thus, anger is inevitable. I'm not saying we can totally eliminate anger. It's inevitable. However, it need never last very long. Best if you get past it in 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You don't want to go on for a day. You certainly don't want to go to bed angry. Nor do we have to cause harm when angered. So even when we're, be angry but sin not, as it says in scriptures, we get angry, but we don't have to cause harm. Learn to protect others from yourself and be a person of honor. So we know we feel angry. We know we have a desire to hurt this person. We protect that person from our own selves until we can get a handle on ourselves. The wise know to harm another is to harm themselves. Thus, they do not follow destructiveness. They follow the path of harmlessness. They know to harm another is to harm themselves. Nothing can stop the flood of goodness. Nothing. Nothing can stop the flood of goodness pouring through all existence. It's the most powerful force, is the force of goodness. Everything reflects that. The beauty of the trees, the fruits, and the nuts, and everything that's available to us, we're flooded with goodness and generosity. The oneness of humankind can no longer be denied. No one can say any longer that we're different because of race or religion or nationality. Thus do we aspire to treat others as we ourselves would be treated. The universal golden rule through all religions. Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. So if you're upset by something, if the other, would you want that person doing to you what you're thinking you want to do to them? Probably not. You'd probably want that person's forgiveness. So forgive. Treat them as you would be treated. Make restitution if you can, and forgive as you wish to be forgiven. We cannot be calm if we desire revenge or resent or hate or envy. Thus, the true enemy is known. Certainly, there's danger in the world outside of us. It doesn't compare to the danger inside. The assassin within you will steal your peace. You will be assassinated by yourself. That's the tragedy. Being assassinated by your own self under the guise of self-protection. That's how tricky it is. We assassinate ourselves. We walk around angry and upset, resentful, desiring revenge, feeling I have to do this to protect myself. What better disguise is there? An inner assassin. It's like a cancer cell. It's an inner assassin, a physical assassin. You're a danger to yourself. Know this and seek protection from God. We all need protection from ourselves, every human being. So we turn to the ultimate protector in whatever form that makes sense to you. It's God, nature, meditation, whatever way. If you fail to take responsibility for your action, you will always be an angry person, will always be blaming. You did this to me, and therefore I got to do that to you. You did this to me, you did that to me. And a lot of times there's some accuracy to that person did do that, and you have to neutralize that danger. But at the same time, we always should be looking for how we co-created that as a way to escape our own anger. You are angry because you are attracted to anger. Once you find that you have an actual attraction to oh, that did that, I'm so angry. Yes, I'm so angry. And if you really watch yourself, you'll find in all of us an attraction to anger, attraction to destroy. It's instinctive. It's not your fault, it's not my fault. It's a natural desire. So we're not responsible for that attraction to anger and to destroy. We're not responsible for that. We're responsible for the thoughts we choose to have. We're responsible for the ways that we try to overcome that in ourselves. That's what we're responsible for. You are calm because you are attracted to peace. If you're truly attracted to peace, you'll be at peace. But it has to be a sincere attraction. Say, nothing's worth it. I'm going to stay peaceful. All face hardship, struggle, and tribulation, but only the true warrior gains the most power from it and does not get angry. Going through this hardship, this is terrible. It's a tribulation. It's a catastrophe. I will seek to gain great power from it. The worse the catastrophe, the more power that could be gained, the greater the jewel enshrined within it. And I rejoice and I'm thankful. All could be happy when things are going well. You have money, love, comfort. Your loved ones are fine. Who wouldn't be happy then? The secret to the good life is to be able to rejoice within the tribulation, which is sure to come upon us. The tribulation is sure to come, whether it's a car not starting or a collision or a disease, a betrayal, whatever. The tribulation is sure to come in this life. To seek to gain power from it and to be thankful within it, that's the secret to a good life, the secret to a calm life, the secret to a peaceful life, a productive life. To be angry at the injustice in the world is good, so there is a place for anger. To be angry at the bloodthirsty tyrants of the world and say, I want to do something about these injustices. I'm angry. I'm angry at the exploitation of people. I'm angry at what's being done to these innocent victims. I'm very angry. That's good. And that anger will motivate you to do good. So there's a place for anger. It can be a good thing, a very good thing. Gain strength from it and fight against the wrongs. You'll be at peace in such an anger. That anger is not a real disturbance to peace, because it's not just a self-centered, narcissistic anger. In fact, it's an anger of perspective. I'm eating, I'm comfortable, and all these children are starving. I'm mad, I got to do something. This isn't right. That's a good anger. Never seek to justify your anger. Thus, you will not become its slave. So most of us are angry over really petty things most of the time, inconsequential things. And we tend to justify it. I'm angry at you because you did this and this and this and the other thing. So once we're in the habit of justifying our angers, we become its slave. It rules us. But you have to decide, I refuse to be a slave to anger. I'm not going to seek to justify it. No. I'm angry, I'm going to overcome this anger. Unless it's a good anger against the injustices of the world, which is a rare anger. No, I'm not going to be a slave to anger. When you're angry because of the harm another does to himself, this is good. I'm angry. Why are you eating that? You have diabetes. Your blood sugar is going to go up. Stop it. I'm going to take this food from you right now. It's a good anger. You try to protect somebody against themselves. That's a good anger. This anger is a form of love, and it will cause no harm. It's a good intentioned anger. Most angers are extremely petty and unworthy of your time. If you look over your life, you'll see most of it. It's self-caused, not worthy of us. Thus, we are forced to admit how small-minded we really are. All of us, very petty-minded, small-minded. This is not bad if it leads to true humility. So the pettiness, we didn't choose. We didn't wake up one morning and say, you know what, I want to be a petty, overreactive son of a gun. Nobody ever made that decision in their lives. They just find themselves born into it, reacting. But the person says, you know, how can I feel superior to anybody? Look at me, I'm reacting to all this stuff. So certainly it should bring humility. That's one good thing that would come out of it. Then, of course, the journey to overcome that and to enter it to arenas of greatness and to be upset over things that matter. And in terms of entering areas of compassion and forgiveness, the greatest thought is one that transforms the world into a rose garden. Not a sense of denial, but to be able to perceive the beauty, to struggle. Look how people struggle to do good for themselves, to do good for their families, to advance themselves. You look at the vast majority of humankind, there's such a struggle to do good. And once you see that, that's beautiful. That transforms the world to a rose garden. To perceive beauty is to know love, and anger cannot grow there. Once we see that beauty and we're immersed in seeing it, then there's a tear of compassion. If you wish to be calm, be great. Gratitude is one of the greatest sources of tranquility, of harmony, and of peace. Exercise, proper sleep, and nutrition helps us to not overreact. If you're tired, you're more likely to overreact. If it's a hot day, you're more likely to overreact. If you haven't slept, you're going to overreact. So it's important that we take good care of ourselves as a kindness to ourselves physically, emotionally, and spiritually, and as a way of protecting others against our overreactions. To take good care of ourselves physically. Very important. Cannot emphasize enough the importance of this physical reality that we live in. Although I talk a great deal about emotional reality and spiritual, intellectual reality, the physical reality is extremely important. Prayer, meditation, and contemplation are conducive to peace. Hurting the feelings of others will interrupt your calmness. That's an absolute fact. Anger begets anger. Peace begets peace. Reading spiritual scriptures gives meaning to life, and meaning is a calming influence. When a person feels filled with a passion for life, a sense of meaning, purpose, direction, they're much less likely to overreact to all the little things that happen because they have their eye on the prize. I'm going for this. This is my goal. I'm not going to be distracted by this little thing and that little thing. So one of the greatest paths to calmness and not getting angry is to be filled with a strong sense of purpose and meaning in life. And that helps keep everything in perspective because we keep our eye on the prize. What is your deepest secret? Find power within it to forgive and understand others. Whatever that deepest secret is, look at it and seek power from within it and to forgive, to draw power from that deepest secret. Most often, that can be gained when you look at it, the thing that's most deeply hidden. Never allow your fears to dominate you for more than a fleeting moment. Know that you are safe and eternal. We all have a moment of fear, reaction, something happens, become fearful, but you don't want that fear to dominate you. There are many power thoughts, many prayers that can be used to get away from that. But I'll be fine and I'm grateful. I'll be fine and I'm grateful. I know when I was going through tremendous labile hypertension, I felt like I was going to pass out. My wife was driving me to the hospital. I'll be fine, I'm grateful. I'll be fine, I'm grateful. And panic that had taken over just started subsiding. I stayed uncomfortable. I felt close to passing out. I went to 230/101. I never had that before. I thought I was going to pass out. This was about 6 months ago. Well, since that time, I've lost 30 pounds. I derived tremendous power from it. I'd lost 30 pounds, wanted to dietary changes, and great power came from it in every way. With the help of God and the help of my wife, my devoted wife, the journey was totally constructive. Great power was drawn. When hungry or tired or uncomfortably hot, be careful. You're more prone to overreact. Know this and take precautions. So you know when you can overreact. You know it. Could be that time of month for a woman. Could be a situation about finances, relationship. You know when you can overreact. And you want to do something to protect others against that. If you have a problem with your relationship, with your significant other, or financial problems, know that your threshold to anger could be substantially lower. Just had a breakup, just had a fight, you're more likely to get irritated with somebody over something small. Be cautious and do not take it out on others. So we don't want to take our anger and frustration out on other people. We want to find some way to deal with it within ourselves or to stay away from people a certain period of time. This is best for you and for the world around you. These are people that become homicidal. They get so upset about something, and if you do something, a large percentage of killings are taking place because the person was in that kind of mood over something, and somebody was at the wrong place at the wrong time and got harmed or killed. To be calm and not overreact and not become angry, you must first be committed to being kind. Kindness, to have a kind heart, is also part of that path. Sometimes anger must be expressed, but is best shared in a context of connectedness. There's a time to say, look, I've asked you before 5 times not to do this. I love you, I respect you, I want a relationship with you, but I'm angry. Please don't do that. I'm saying this to you because I care. So that's respectful, real communication. You're putting it where you're trying to build a connection. You say, I just got to tell you, I'm angry, I'm upset. I don't want to be angry. You don't want me to be angry. So let's shake on this, or we're not going to go through this again. If I'm doing something to push your button, not tell me about it because I don't want to go here again. Time where that conversation has to happen. Repent for the wrongness you have done, for you will slip once in a while. As human beings, people will slip. Not to repeat this stuff. This person said this, they blew up, they did that. You got to forgive yourself. Apologize quickly. That's so important. You start sometimes going back to old verbal habits. You start talking some nasty talk. She says, I'm sorry. I don't even want to go there. I'm so sorry I said that to you. The faster you can do it, the better. You want to just negate the harm you didn't. And that person will say, oh, that's okay. Especially if you apologize quick. Hey, I shouldn't have said that. Please forgive me. We're all imperfect human beings on the path struggling to do good. Hey, I'm sorry. Apologize quickly and resolve to be more respectful in the future. So we slip, which is inevitable. Apologize. Sorry. Please forgive. You have to be humble enough. You have to be able to put your pride aside to just go there quickly, very quickly. The quicker, the better. These are the keys to not overreacting, the keys to remaining calm, to not being angry, through respectfully real intention. So I'm going to open it up and see what thoughts you have, what questions you may have.
Well, yeah, so I guess turning the other cheek, that's kind of what you're telling us.
Well, it's a time to turn the other cheek, which has been advocated by all the great spiritual teachers. Turn the other cheek. Of course, sometimes we want to say, hey, don't do that. Yeah. If you do that again, I'm going to have to do X, Y, and Z because it's not good for you to be violating me. And it's not good for me. But at the same time, I want to forgive the person at the same time neutralizing that kind of situation. Not out of revenge because it's bad. It's very bad for the person doing it if they violate us. So we're doing it for us as well as them. Bad for them spiritually and emotionally to be doing those kinds of things. Yeah, Rich.
Yes. So is there some kind of comes that comes out when two individuals like such as a man and a man, they fight, and then they take it out on each other, and
Well,
then
yeah. They become calm. There's certainly many cases where two men get in a fight and become best of friends. More civilized approach is always preferred. Always.
What question? Okay, let's talk about sagginess, but let's say we're talking about soldiers and in wartime. How do you control?
Yeah, all of this has to do with civilian life. Everything I've said. Now, warfare, if you have to kill, that's what's happening. You're put in a position, you're trained to kill. You try to kill in as humane way as possible. But they try to cut down collateral damage, for example. They don't want civilians getting killed. So they take extra precautions not to harm civilians. Would be one example of a compassionate warrior. I've never heard as much concern about innocent civilians as I have now, to make sure that we minimize it, although a certain amount's inevitable. Brian?
You said that we have an instinctive attraction to anger. Could that be said for all emotions, even the good ones?
We're attracted to a full range of emotion. Anger is one that there's a tremendous attraction to because it has a tremendous survival value. For we're in a jungle or we're in a situation under threat, that adrenaline and all the energy that goes with that facilitates survival. However, we're not in that situation for physical survival, and therefore that kind of anger and rage really is a detriment to our survival in terms of our cardiovascular health. So therefore, we want to really develop the attitude of prayerfulness and using Dr. Nerenberg's mind-body workout system with the correct power thoughts. Michael?
I think anger creates an illusion that's controlled.
People, when they feel angry, sometimes feel tremendous control. They feel good. They might have been feeling out of control, so then when they get angry, they feel in control. When the anger subsides, they can end up feeling vulnerable again. But it is one way to mask vulnerability. Rahim?
If you feel harm from somebody and you feel pain and anger, and if we don't show our anger, then it's gonna, we're gonna lose that kind of connection to the other person or closeness.
It's true that sometimes we need to show anger to keep closeness, but even then it can be done in a constructive way. Listen, I want to say something to you because I love you and I want to keep our connection. I'm really ticked at you for what you did and what you said. Really angry. I'm trying to forgive you, but I really don't like. Well, that's a lot easier than say that. That's more respectfully real than say, well, you're a no good son of a gun and you did all these bad things. I can't stand you. I can't tolerate you. Then that puts a barrier wall and pushes. But the other is an expression of the anger. You're telling the person, I'm expressing this because I care and I want to keep the connection. It's very powerful. That's a very constructive form of communication.
I think maybe between couples, it's because maybe passion-driven. No.
Yeah, when two people love each other and they're very close, one person can really react because they care so much and they love the person so much. There are some people who say they only get angered by people they care about. The others doesn't matter. People who say that. There are people who get angry about anybody, whether they're close or not. But there are those who say I get mostly angry at people. The people I love can get to me, the others can't. But again, it's not an excuse to then destroy that person or cause harm. Say, I'm angry because I love you and I care about you and I've got to express this to keep that connection. And it's passion-driven, it's love-driven. That's a constructive communication. Brian?
So it's more so our responsibility to manage the anger versus actually just trying to eliminate it from our relationships.
Well, you want to certainly minimize it. You want to go to realizing why this person did it. You want to be able to forgive and have compassion. But there's a time to express the anger as well in a constructive manner. I'm expressing this because I want to keep a good connection to you and I love you and I care about you. That's very important to be able to do it in a constructive context so it's not misunderstood. Well, I want to thank everybody and again express my deep gratitude to all of you for being here, that I could reach deep within myself and share this with you, the experience of my 67 years of life and over 35 years of being a psychologist. It's very grateful for this opportunity to all of you, those of you in the room, those watching on DVD, and those listening on CD. Thank you.